One, our country can never be the same again. I know that many of you have been to a good deal demoralized. I've personally been in incarceration for the last 11 days. Today is the first time that I'm meeting many of you, that I'm talking to many of you. The first lady that you decided, that the people of Uganda decided should be the next first lady, has been in incarceration with me. We are not broken. We were not broken. Because we know that all these are actions of a timid, scared man. I congratulate all of you. This was a win for the people of Uganda. But like Samora Machel said one time, aluta continua. The struggle continues. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very glad to meet you today, honorable members. I am aware that yes, while we are sad as a nation that General Museveni, using institutions of state, using the military and using Mr. Byabakama, made every effort to compromise and take over the will of the people of Uganda, which will not be possible. This can only be timely. I was put under illegal detention in my own house because General Museveni did not win. We won him. Using a few people, he declared himself winner, thereby, staging a coup against the will of the people of Uganda. I can tell you in no uncertain terms that I was elected the democratic president of Uganda. The people of Uganda elected the National Unity Platform. Although the Electoral Commission has announced only 61 of us, you are aware that very many of us actually won. Many of them are still, pursuing their victories, while others are petitioning the courts of law, even when we know how compromised our courts are. But most importantly, I want you to know that what General Museveni has been doing and is trying to do now will not work this time. This is only periodical. So I invited you today, first of all, to congratulate you, but to inform you that this is just the beginning and not the end. Friends, you won. You are now honorable members. But it is important to know these things below. One, it is just the beginning. And there's nothing to celebrate right now. There's nothing to celebrate when General Museveni, using his divide and rule tactics, is trying to channel this and create a narrative that this was a tribal election. He was rejected not only in Buganda, he was rejected the country over. He was rejected in the north, rejected in the east, rejected in the west, and rejected here in the south and the central. You are all aware that General Museveni deployed the military. You have seen video evidence of the military and the police pre-ticking ballot papers, stuffing ballot papers, putting voters on gunpoint and ordering them to vote, not secretly, but on the same desk when everybody is watching, to ensure that he puts up an image that he has won. But I'm glad that unlike ever before, not only locally but internationally, all these schemes have been rejected. You have seen statements from the United Nations, you've seen statements from the United States, you have seen statements from the European Union and very many other international bodies rejecting the fraud. We continue to reject the fraud, and in no unequivocal terms, We are saying that we defeated General Museveni and we are the true winners. However, the will of the people was usurped by General Museveni. He staged a coup. And as we speak right now, while he tactically left some of the very ashaming wins to proceed, he went ahead to avert the wins of other people. Like I told you, many are, pursuing their wins. That explains why not all of us are here today. This is a beginning, friends. The liberation struggle continues. We are not free until we break free from the 35-year-old regime. Yes. Today we meet for the first time after 11 days of, military takeover. It is not a mistake, friends, that we meet today when it is making 35 years of the Museveni gun rule. Today, as I speak to you. It is not a mistake. We are living in a generation where we see revelations before our own selves. It's up to us to tap into them. It's like electricity. It's always there until you tap into it. This generation that very many of you represent, I can see you, very many of you, even as newly elected members of parliament, I believe the majority of you were not born when Museveni took over our country. Look at yourselves right now. The people of Uganda have entrusted you to liberate them from this slavery. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So, number one, I want you to know that the people of Uganda trusted us. They trusted you. Just like our Secretary General has put it on your posters, and as a promise, you put a new Machindi, a new Kampala, a new Kawempe, a new Bukomansimbi, etc., etc. This is the time for us to make good of that promise. While we were still in the campaigns, that we are not going to wait to give that leadership when we finally wear the victor's crown. We must give that leadership even when we are in the struggle. This is just one phase of leadership accreditation. The people of your constituencies have accredited you, and this is when you begin to give that leadership. While your people want you to represent their voices in the parliament and in the various offices that you've been elected to, your people, most importantly, want you to assert the voice of freedom, the voice and aspiration of an end to the dictatorship. And that's exactly what we are doing. And it's my humble prayer and request to you, friends, that you do not forget the mission. This is a mission to freedom. We have always been telling our people, mission 2021, not election 2021, but mission 2021. And I've told you before that our people have agreed with a long old statement that politics is so serious a business to be left to politicians. So I'm asking you not to be politicians. I'm asking you not to be the regular politicians, but to be freedom fighters, to be leaders. We are leading an entire generation out of slavery, and they are banking on you. When General Museveni ordered for the surrounding of my house, he was convinced in his old school mind that by incarcerating me, by disconnecting me from the people, he's pouring cold water on this, our revolution. And I want to tell you that while I speak to you now, I speak to you as if it's the last time I'm talking to you. Because be very sure that this forcefully imposed regime on us, this timid old man who has his future right behind him, is going to do every illegal, every shameful thing. Don't be shocked when they surround my home once again. Don't be shocked when they arrest me and keep me in jail, thinking that by keeping me away from you, they are keeping this revolution cold. So I want to task you today to be a Chagulanyi where you are. Mwadanku Nyinji, the people of Chadondo voted for you. They sent you to accomplish a mission. Same to you, Shamim Malende. Same to you, Kazibwe Bashir. Same to everybody. This is no joking business. This is when the real fight begins. I've told you before, and now the people of your constituencies have proved to you that I'm not any different from you. You can do what I'm doing and even more. And the people have tasked you to that. This is no time for us to put on smart straight jackets and go to parliament and enjoy. It is a time to sacrifice. It's a time to put away our comfort. This is a liberation struggle that we must start. As a matter of fact, while the struggle has been more painful then, it is even more painful now. But I can guarantee you that we can see freedom in sight. While your constituencies have elevated you and made you stand out, I want you to remember that 100% of our campaign team are in prison. I want you to remember that we stand here on the blood of very many comrades that have been murdered innocently. Which blood we must make good of. They are looking at us. The people of Uganda are relying on us. But they are very proud that they chose us. That their voices, at least in some areas, were elevated. And I want you to know that General Museveni wants so desperately to put an end to this and pretend that we are moving on. We are not moving on to anywhere. We won him. He is not the legally elected president. He is an imposter. Yes, he is. So while you take on these offices, I want you to remember that this is going to be a two-pronged approach. We have the political approach, but this bigger battle is for the people of Uganda. So you are expected to lead your people. At least through these 3 years, you have seen that indeed the people power is stronger than people in power. I want you to know that you are servants. You people, you are servants. You were appointed by people to serve them. To serve as anchors of a struggle for freedom and life. They are relying on you. They expect you to be serious. They expect you to be assertive. I know we are going to discuss much more in the absence of the media, but I wanted to congratulate you, friends, and task you and remind you that business is just beginning. It has not ended. There's no reason to celebrate now. There's only reason to be reminded that we have a big task ahead of us. You see, like Mandela one time said, the struggle for freedom is like climbing a mountain. You will climb and get to a certain level thinking that you've overcome, only to see that there's another phase to climb. That's the phase that we are going to right now. But I want you to know that you're leading the people with their trust. They have trusted you. That is a very noble thing. You are special people. Amidst all the rigging, amidst all the irregularities, amidst all the violence, the people asserted their voices. Don't look at yourself like the ordinary. You are not ordinary. You are freedom fighters. You are revolutionaries. Embrace it. Own it. And give leadership. Be magnanimous to those that you won. I know many of you were vying with other forces of change. This is a time to bring them forth. This is a time to show them that we are about leadership. This is no time to brag. This is a time to be humble. But most importantly, this is a time to remember that we are servants of the people of Uganda. So I congratulate you, friends. I welcome you to this struggle. It is not going to be easy, to be smooth. They are going to provoke you. They are going to try to compromise you. They are going to offer you loads of money. They are going to offer you positions. You've heard General Museveni bragging that he'll buy out some of our leaders. He's bragged that he's going to offer ministerial posts to some of you. And when you refused, like I know you will, because I know you cannot sell your people. When you refuse, they will persecute you. They will jail you. They will put all kinds of wrong narratives around you. But remember, they're doing that to you because you are winners. I can guarantee you, friends, that we are going to remove a dictator. Do not be intimidated. Do not be intimidated. General Museveni might have used the military to assert his force and impose himself on the people of Uganda. Like I've already told you, he's an impositor who we are going to remove soon and very soon. Take examples of his friends. Hosni Mubarak, who purported to have won with 80-something%. His recently kicked out friend, Omar el-Bashir, who posed to have won an election with 90%. Not more than a year, he was out of office. We want Museveni out of office in less than a year. People power. So do not be, demoralized. We are removing a dictator. What you are representing here is a 45 million people. Okay? What you're representing here is the power of the people. What you're representing here is a new Uganda. And that new Uganda we are going to get. So I congratulate you, friends. I congratulate the people of Uganda. And I pray that moving forward we are going to be each other's teachers. I salute the senior leaders that we have. And I salute the youngsters that we have. This is a true representation of Uganda. Let it echo amongst all of us. Let us make a difference. Let us not disappoint the people. We must not disappoint the people. You've heard many regime propagandists claiming that the people of Uganda will regret voting out of hate. They hate the Museveni regime because it has oppressed them for 35 years. Today, while they are celebrating 35 years of taking over our country, we are mourning that day. And I want it to drum deep down in you. And remember that we have a duty like no other generation. Our duty, our mission is to remove a dictator. And you are here as commanders. You are here as leaders to push this through. So I salute you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll exchange much more. There's more that I want to share with you that we don't yet want to expose to the media. There's much more that you are going to get from our leaders, but I wanted to salute you and welcome you yet again to this next phase of our struggle for God and our country. A year is too long. A year under General Museveni means more deaths, means more oppression, means more poverty, means more lawlessness. Even a month, even a week, the people of Uganda have the right to stand, to rise up against misrule, against injustice, anytime, as soon as yesterday and as late as now. The law provides for the people of Uganda to stand for their rights, and we encourage them to stand against, one, the fraudulent results that were read by Mr. Byabakama. Mr. Museveni should not be president of Uganda. And we encourage the people of Uganda to use all legal and all non-violent means and ideas that they have to free themselves from the Museveni dictatorship. So I did not say a year. If it happens in a year, it will be very late. But I mean, I was giving an example of Sudan, where Mubarak apparently won with over 90%, but it was not even a year that he was out of power. So I'm telling you that a year is too long. The people of Uganda have a right to stand against the Museveni dictatorship. Dictators have fallen much more faster than people have ever imagined. So I wanted to make that very clear. We were asked about going to court. First of all, I want you to know that we have overwhelming evidence in terms of discrepancies in the figures. You all know that Mr. Byabakama announced results that were non-existent. The first result announce the winner, and then they start compiling results. That is what Mr. Byabakama did, and we disagreed with that fraud. While we have all the evidence, we told you that we are in discussions with colleagues on how to proceed about the court, which we know that General Museveni appoints. He appoints the entire bench of the Supreme Court, and we have, learned from the past. We saw what came out of the decision that was arrived at in the 2011 Besigye court petition, and what came out of the Amama Mbabazi petition. And should we go to court, it should be another front to expose the regime. But most importantly, the court we believe in most is a court of public opinion. We have believed always in people power. Our energy, our hope, and our power is within the people of Uganda. So it is the court of public opinion that is most important to us. About the plan for, I'll refer some questions to our legal team and our Secretary General. For example, the MPs running to court, and about the U-Vote app. But I'll just respond to the question of the experience under house arrest. Well, what can I say? Home feels different when new friends are here. Where you are seated right now, there were tents of soldiers. They jumped over the fence and took over our compound. They could not allow my wife to access our garden. They beat up our security guards and terrorized everybody that we stay with. But, that serves only to expose the kind of regime that is presiding over us. I will not talk so much about the stress and the experience. All I can say is that we are here. And we are not giving up. All that stress only made us strong and proved to us that Museveni is so scared of us. And finally, about the jailed comrades, you are aware that more than 400 of our colleagues are in prisons across the country. We heard from our colleagues that were charged in military court and remanded in Chitalia, including Nubian Lee. All his hair has been shaved off as an effort to humiliate him. And many other comrades are sick, but they are strong in the spirit. We continue to pray for them, but most importantly, we continue to demand for their freedom. And if you had so many reasons to demand for the freedom of our people and to stand against the Museveni regime, let this be yet another strong reason for you to fight on. I thank you, and I forward it to you, Comrade Secretary General.
I don't add anything to that, but before I call the questions, I want to make a few introductions of as leaders that we did not introduce at the start.